Good morning and welcome back to Ironman Outdoors. It was cold this morning in South Carolina. I'm talking 25 degrees, which is pretty cold for us. I slipped out and was able to go crawl in a stand this morning and had a little bit of success. Had a nice pig come out right as daylight was cracking and trying to get a quick meal on a corn pile. So I want to do something in today's video that I've never done before. I've always wanted to. I've killed a lot of hogs. I've cleaned a lot of hogs. Our ministry, we've been doing hog hunting retreats for about 16 years now. I have never myself made wild hog sausage. I've never done it myself. I've always, taken it to a processor. My favorite thing to do is to put the whole hog on the pit boss and let it smoke. We did a retreat one time in Texas, and we had a real wood smoker, and they had charcoal. And then they also had mesquite, and they threw the mesquite wood on there, and we smoked that pig about 14 hours, and man, was it delicious. But today I want to try something totally different. We're going to try to make wild hog sausage. First thing we got to do is we got to get this pig skinned out, and I'll show you how the sausage is made, so to speak. If it turns out good, you can call me Jimmy Dean. If it turns out as a failure, I'll be honest with you and I'll let you know, and maybe you can comment and let me know what I did wrong. Maybe I'm sure many of you have a lot more experience than I do, but come along and let's see how we can try to make some wild hog sausage. All right, let me bring you up to speed on the wild hog sausage that we're trying to make. And I'm not a professional butcher, not a professional sausage maker, but this is what we're going to try, and you can experiment with me. So, killed a pig Thursday morning. Today is Saturday afternoon. I've had it on ice for a couple of days. I took the meat off the bone, just cutting along the lines of the natural lines of the meat. Deboned it, chunked it up, sort of golf ball size, maybe a little bigger, maybe a little smaller, just depends. Came out with about 20 pounds of chunks of the pork. All right, so I went to 2 different grocery stores trying to find some pork fat. I mean, once upon a time, you could go talk to your butcher and you could get pork fat. I was told by both of those stores that our South Carolina state regulatory agency does not allow them to give away the pork fat. So that was a no-go. So I'm thinking, okay, how am I going to get some more fat into this pork? The butcher that I talked to, he actually had a great idea. I bought a pork loin, a large pork loin. It was about 23, 24 bucks. And I took the fat. There's a significant layer of fat on the top of the pork loin, and I cut that off. Now, I saved the loin, and that, that'll go on the pit boss smoker for my family probably, tomorrow or the next day. But I've got about 3 pounds of fat that I got off of the top of that pork loin that I'm going to mix and add in with my wild hog pork. So next step is we're going to mix it up in a cooler over there, and I'm putting in legs, number 10, pork seasoning sausage. I had a wonderful man, grew up in a community, I grew up in a community where he lived in North Carolina, and Mr. Harold, he made sausage every year. Unfortunately, he's in heaven. Well, fortunately for him, he's in heaven now. But if Mr. Harold was still around, I would call him and ask him for his seasoning recipe. But next best thing, I got to buy it, and I ordered this off of Amazon. It was, 10 bucks or whatever, not too bad. This makes 25 pounds. I probably won't use all of this. I'll leave just a little bit out, and then we will get it all mixed up. We'll run it through my grinder, and then we will probably test a little patty in the frying pan to see how we did. Should be fun. All right, the seasoning's going in, and it smells delicious. The cooler is clean, rinsed out, washed out with soap, sprayed down with Clorox cleanup, and then rinsed again. And it just happens to be that we didn't have a mixing bowl big enough for all this, so the cooler is just a convenient place to mix it up. Try to get it on there good. Let everybody get a little bit of that flavor. And I will save out what I don't use, and after we do our taste test, we may add a little more to it. Just trying to get everybody incorporated here. Okay, that's almost all of it, but not quite all of the pack, because I'm estimating about 23 pounds of meat I got here. All right, we're going to the grinder. Okay, do not make fun of my Harbor Freight electric grinder, okay? I'm not going into the sausage making business. I just want to do it for my own family and for our enjoyment. I ended up getting this last year. You know, I got a son at Clemson and I got a son at University of South Carolina, and they wanted some deer burger so that they could, you know, make hamburger helper and that sort of stuff while they're away at college. And, you know, the meat processors, man, it's expensive to get. I mean, just to get one ground into burger now, you're talking, if you do it, grind a whole deer into burger, you're talking about 125, 150 bucks. This was $50 at Harbor Freight. So I know that it's not nice. I know you can spend a whole lot more and get a much nicer grinder. But for now, we'll see how it does, okay? And one thing I was going to mention, you know, my natural tendency when I'm cleaning deer meat or cleaning wild hog, my natural tendency is to cut the fat off. Well, when you're making sausage, you don't do that. You try to leave as much fat on there as possible. So just keep that in mind. Here we go. Houston, I think we have a problem here. Let me make an adjustment here and see if we can fix this. Okay, hold off on sending the Harbor Freight hate mail. It was an operator error. I had a piece, a little cutting piece in there. I had it in there backwards. So I had to take it apart, clean it, put that piece back in there the opposite direction. I think she's going to work much better now. Oh yeah. That's looking good. Tell you what, you got to keep the beast fed. Some of my pieces were a little bigger than golf ball size, but that's all right. So far, the old Harbor Freight's handling it. Looking good. sure that a more expensive grinder would do this faster. That's all right, we're making it. All right, that's a wrap. Sadie and I are done for the day. We ended up with 13 bags of regular sausage and 8 bags of the spicy, that I added the red pepper to. So I'm gonna call that a success. And let me see if I can get myself in the camera here. It's been a lot of fun. Anytime that you can take something from the outdoors and process it yourself, whether it be make your own Euro mount with a set of antlers, or grind your own deer burger, or make your own wild hog sausage, I think that adds a lot to the experience. And I think Mr. Harold would be proud up in heaven. He'd laugh at my little Harbor Freight meat grinder, but he'd be proud of making the sausage. So you might be saying, hey, I don't have a chance to go kill wild hogs. Well, I've got something for you. Our ministry, Ironman Outdoors, we do January, February, March. We're going to have several opportunities for you to come on a hog hunting retreat with us. We've got several different properties in Alabama and in South Carolina where we do hog hunting retreats, possibly in Texas, we'll see. But those would be a great opportunity for you to come have a chance to get some pork on the ground and do this whole field to fork kind of thing that I've done today. But it'll also be a great chance for you to experience our retreats. We are a men's ministry and we connect men to Christ in the outdoors. So I hope you will consider joining us on a retreat. And me and my family are going to be enjoying some wild hog sausage for many days to come.